or successful path. So the Big Ten, many believe, panicked, canceled a football season, which, of course, in the recruiting world is a competitive disadvantage to the SEC and the Big 12 and the ACC, and this is recruiting season. And according to a story today by Adam Rittenberg, many within the Big Ten programs are furious and frustrated by the cancellation and the process that led to it. Been in this league 20-plus years, said a league source, this has been embarrassing. Everybody is furious. Not the way it's supposed to go down. The ramifications of this are staggering. So let's talk about history. What have we seen with COVID? Now, I've said this before. The media too often seeks negative over positive, never considers the ramifications of business. That's why many people in the media are losing their jobs now, as they are. I believe this entire COVID is managing it, trying to find the bright lights and the silver clouds. It's a pandemic. We're in the middle of it. It's difficult. Don't panic. I am seeking people that give me good information that don't panic. I have seen so much panicking in the media, and that doesn't solve anything. Here's what I have seen in sports. Let's start with the draft. Joy and I were on the air, the draft. One reporter at another network yelled, if you hold the draft, there'll be blood in the streets. Oh, God, that's embarrassing. The draft was an absolute five-star home run. The NFL put their commissioner in the basement of his house. They had players. It was one of my favorite things in the draft ever. They went into players' homes, kids' homes, and you saw the cousins and the families and embracing as they became millionaires with generational wealth. I thought it was as good a draft as I'd ever seen. The NFL just managed it. They didn't panic. They put the commissioner in a basement. They put cameras in the homes of 20-year-old kids and cousins and families, and it was joyful. It was wonderful. It was a home run. What did the UFC do? Oh, crap. We're going to rent an island. We're going to go rent an island. It's going to be really expensive. And they had some positive tests. And they didn't panic. And Dana White said, this is a business. We can't have fans. We're going to go rent a damn island. And they did. And two of the best cards I've ever seen in the UFC. Two of the best cards I've ever seen. What did golf do? What did NASCAR do? We're just going to manage it. We're going to be aggressive. We're not going to let it stop our majors and stop our tournaments. NASCAR had positive tests. A couple of drivers. What'd they say? All right, quarantine them. Race goes on. Didn't panic. Golf. Couple of guys. Tournament. Out. All right. Event goes on. By the way, Major League Baseball never promised us they weren't going to have positive tests. Major League Baseball is like, we can't do a bubble. The players' union, which is very strong, this is why the baseball bubbles don't work, because the players are like, talk to the hand. We're not doing it. NBA union's not as strong. The NFL union's much weaker. NHL union's weaker. Baseball union players said, we're going to play. We're going to be with our families. What happened? Baseball had some positive tests. The media panicked. Baseball media, cancel the season. It doesn't work. This is outrageous. This is why death is going to happen. And yet, the Miami Marlins Cardinals situations, got it all right. By the way, teams now are holding players accountable, as we've talked about. Teams are like, bro, don't screw up the season for Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, all the good teams. Twins, they're not having problems. What have we seen over and over with this? Media panicking? Rob Manfred didn't. Roger Goodell didn't. Gary Bettman didn't. Adam Silver didn't. We're managing our way through this, and aggressive is winning. Petrified, panic, stay home, that's not winning. Hiding is not winning. So the SEC, which we predicted on this show, is going to put their head down. And it may be imperfect, and maybe the Pac-12's right, and maybe the Big Ten's right. But when I'm not talking about states, governments, governors, mayor. I'm just talking sports. What has worked through this is not expecting perfection, understanding you're going to have positive tests, social distancing, mask wearing, bubbles or semi-bubbles whenever it's possible, and work your way through it. Even in California, they close the bars, but the restaurants, they move people outside.